I see you. Hey guys, welcome to day 4 live office hours. It's Sunday Fun Day.
Quit your job and boss up challenge day 4.
Yeah, you said that like you weren't sure what today's date is. I really am not either. All right, so as you know, we show up here every day in the group at 4 o'clock to answer your questions that you guys have around the challenge, around your business, around your goals for helping you to quit your 9 to 5. So if you are popping in, please post your questions in the chat box. Today's video was all about how to crush the competition. We talked about the 4 C's of crushing the competition, which are your being consistent,
hey,
having
LaShawn.
good,
LaDawn, I'm sorry.
Hey, LaDawn. We talked about having consistency, having strong content, building community, and then, of course, communication. Hey, LaDawn.
And then also, you know, we introduced our escape plan program to everyone.
Yes.
If anyone has any questions,
I'm super
please
excited
definitely
about that.
ask questions about that. You know, we just want to make sure that we are delivering and giving you what you need to leave your 9 to 5 and living your true purposely with full abundance and happiness.
Oh, sorry. Yes, to what he said. So we definitely want to answer any questions around the escape plan program. We'll take a few minutes. I guess we could start off by kind of explaining what that is about, because I know a few of you have asked what the program was about. And so those of you that are, you know, active and actually signed up for the challenge, you guys got a sneak peek into what the program is about. And this program is probably one of the most. Thank you. The program looks amazing. Great, LaDawn. I hope that you're going to join us in this program.
Yes, we will hope to see you on the other side. Definitely.
Wow,
sure.
I love everything that we create, and we stand behind everything we create. I guess this one has a special place in my heart for what the content and the things that we're creating, because I envisioned this program 4 years ago, right? But I had no idea how to put it together. I was afraid to put it out there because I was like, do I really want to, you know?
Hey, Simone.
Hey, Simone. Was it email? Yes, Simone. If you're signed up to the challenge, then you should have gotten an email about it. But I'll go ahead and put the link in here just in case you guys didn't see it.
And see, one of the biggest things too that I want everyone to understand, you know, there are a lot of programs out there. A lot of people, you know, are even in the world, and we've been guilty of this, looking for instant gratification. There is no such thing as instant gratification. Even the world depicts that, you know, we live in a fast society. Technology is laser fast, or whatever you want to call it. Everything seems to be so fast. We live in this microwave society mentality.
Yes.
I tell you, this program is all that in a bag of chips. And, you know, I'm not saying we don't want you to believe that it's going to give you instant gratification. What it's going to give you is the tools and the confidence to leave your 9 to 5 powerfully, so you can do what you've been called to do and live your life the way you want to live, whatever how that looks like to you.
Yes.
So, you know, we like Tamisha said, you know, we've taken extreme pride into creating this program specifically for people like you who don't like necessarily what they're doing. You may even like what you're doing, but you still feel, you know, like you're a slave to your 9 to 5, or it's holding you back from doing something that you are really called to do in the world. Mm-hmm. So this is why we created it. And, you know, we think about you guys all the time. We know how it feels to be in a situation where it's not desirable.
Right.
So, you know, we just want you to really, you know, bear that in mind. Understand that you have to do the work. There's no shortcuts to being successful. I don't care who says that. There is no such thing as a shortcut as to you being successful in anything you do. You have to put in the time. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. And, you know, so just don't get discouraged, but you have to do these things in order to see success in your life and in your family's life, your personal life, whether if it's building generational wealth or anything. So just wanted to share that.
And so for me, I wanted, when we sat down and we talked about creating this program for you guys, what was most important for us and what resonated for us, me specifically, because even though Damien left his job before I did, you know, for me, it was a true struggle. I don't think it was as difficult for Damien to make that decision. He was just like, yep, I'm done. But it was a true struggle for me to actually step into that space and leave. So I wanted to make sure that we created something that, if I had this at that time when I quit it, wow, I can't get my life at all together. If I had something to help me when I was ready to quit, what would that be? So we always try to fill that gap, right? To make sure that this is something that you can actually use that's going to help to propel you to the next level in your business. So we're going to be working with you. Basically, what the Escape Plan program is, it's 6 weeks of us working with you to create exactly that, your exit plan, your escape plan, whatever you want to call it, so that you can up-level your business and still build a plan, a strategic plan that's going to get you out of your 9-to-5 in the next 6 to 12 months.
And one of the things too, we talked about it in the previous days during the challenge of, when I quit, I didn't have a plan, but my plan was to have freedom for myself. I knew that there were going to be painful days, painful months, but for me, it created something that a 9-to-5 could never give me. And that was the freedom. It was the choice, that self-autonomy, where I could do whatever I wanted. I could set my hours, and then, I got the harsh reality that being an entrepreneur required more of my time and more of my true intention and energy. So, but at the end of the day, freedom was what I was looking for. And our intention of this program is to give you that freedom, to help you discover who your ideal client is, to make you become that person that is irreplaceable in the industry that you're in. So you'll always have abundance in your life. So that's, again, I could talk about this for days, but the true intention is to create freedom for you, to open up new possibilities that you never would have seen staying in your 9-to-5.
So we focus on 6 key things that we know are the top things that are going to get you to actually quitting your job. If you had these things down pat, if you felt comfortable with these 6 things completed, so to speak, in your brain, you would be able to take that next leap. So that's creating your CEO mindset. That's probably the biggest thing that we've talked about and shared with you guys throughout this entire a challenge when we show up live for you guys, because we want to make sure that you have the right mindset. Entrepreneurship is not a game at all. Mm-hmm. And what I've come to realize is, and I shared this with you in day 1 and day 2, I wanted to be an entrepreneur so bad, but when it finally happened, I didn't really know what to do with it because my mindset wasn't prepared to make those shifts. I was still thinking like an employee and not like a CEO. So that's what we focus on out the gate, is making sure that your mindset is in the right place to be a CEO. Even though you currently are an employee, that CEO mindset is everything, because you got to learn how to make powerful decisions in your greatness. You got to learn how to discipline yourself in your greatness. There's nobody telling you what to do anymore. There's nobody giving you the formula and you execute. That's all on you. And if you don't have that lined up accordingly, you will fail.
And here's the thing. That word entrepreneur, that word boss, these words have been so chopped and screwed. It's so ridiculous, because being a boss, being a CEO is the real deal.
Yes.
We're not just saying that we're going to, we're not just saying quit your 9-to-5 and boss up challenge. We're really serious about you becoming a CEO of your business, learning how to run a business, not just helping you get to 6 figures, not just helping you get to 7 figures. We want to help you to be able to have that CEO mindset, to be in order to create a culture, to be able to make money when you are not in the room, when you're not there, when you're asleep, when you're on vacation. We're not just using that word entrepreneur or boss loosely, okay? This is the real deal. Like, for example, I can't remember who it was that made 6 figures and they're plateauing. And the reason why they may be plateauing is because they still don't know the intricacies on how to really run a business. Yeah. So this is when we use the word boss up and we use the word entrepreneur and quit your 9-to-5, we are helping you to become that CEO. We're helping you to leverage the things that you're strong at. We're going to help you to leverage the things that you're not good at or weak at with somebody else. So we want to help you create a community and create a culture within your organization that's going to be sustainable, that you can pass off to generations.
And just side note, while we're talking, guys, please, again, go ahead and if you have a question, just put it in the chat so we won't. I'm checking the log, so just don't think you can't ask your question yet. But yes, to what he said, absolutely. And also strategizing your exit plan, because sometimes people don't even know what should be in their exit plan in the first place and how to even start that step. The common thing is, oh, I got to save money to quit. And once I save money to quit, or my business has grown, then I can leave. But that's the wrong way to approach it, because that'll never happen. You'll never be able to save enough money if you approach it that way to quit. Your business, you're waiting for your business to get to this particular level. But okay, you listening and cooking dinner. Yeah, so are we. I'm cooking dinner too at the same time as we're doing this live broadcast. But it's not going to work that way. So there's a specific way that you need to create your exit plan, and we're sharing that with you. The biggest thing that I think people struggle with the most is that financial part of preparing to quit. Oh my gosh, I wish somebody would have told me what I knew now to be able to prepare myself financially. For one, when I quit, I didn't have no money in the bank. I had a negative account in the bank. So right off the gate, I went into it very wrong. Now we're going to show you how to properly plan, how to know exactly what you need, how much money you need to be able to execute your goals so that you're able to quit. We're going to help you create what we like to call that freedom number for you. It's a very simple formula, but if you miss this step, oh my gosh, you can just forget your life, because it's not going to work. And you're going to be someone like me who comes on a high and then immediately crashes and goes down to a low where you have no money in the bank, and now you're looking for other resources and other ways to go back into the workforce because you're not able to sustain that money. If you had the money and you were able to consistently grow the money, then it would be a no-brainer. And our fears prevent us from moving into that space, because for one, it's hard for us to save already, because most of us are already working on a penny pinching budget while we're working. So now you want me to get rid of that income and then rely on my business that's not doing that great? It's a scary feeling, but we help you get through that with our session around preparing to quit.
So everyone that that are on live, just type in yes if do you cringe when it's time for you to make a financial investment where you don't know if it's going to work? Just type yes into the comment field so we can see that. You have to be willing, whether it's the Quit Your 9 to 5 escape plan program or anything that it is. You have to not be afraid to invest in yourself. So Simone said yes. So I wanted to talk a little bit more into. That fear. Like, what it type. Again, let's have a dialogue here. Simone. Tell and LaDawn, what is it that scares you the most about investing in yourself or investing into a program? Type it. Let's have this dialogue. Let's utilize this time effectively so we can know where you currently are, so we can meet you where you're at.
So she says, I'm understanding that I will have to sacrifice.
Okay.
It's hard, but she's understanding that she'll have to sacrifice.
So with that being said, Simone, thank you for sharing. What is stopping you? So, like, for example, at our Be Unstoppable conference that we had a few weeks ago, I do a piece on how to become unstoppable, the steps to be unstoppable. But in order for you to be unstoppable, you have to know what it is that's stopping you. So I'll pose this question to you, Simone, LaDawn, what's stopping you?
So LaDawn says she's not scared, but she's frustrated that she doesn't have the resources at the time that she needs it.
Okay. Well, I mean, as that is concerned, be a little bit more specific on that, because I don't want, when you say you don't have the resources at the time that you need. Now, is
that in relation to investing in yourself? You don't have the resources to invest in yourself when you need them? Be more specific in what you mean so we can answer that question for you.
Now, again, because we talked about, the prior days that you have to allow your 9 to 5 to work for you. So instead of getting up in the morning, your heart is beating fast and things are going crazy like that, start looking at how you can use your 9 to 5 to allow you to be an investor for your future. So Simone says in her case, already making less than enough than having to invest. Okay. So again, it comes, all right, so let's have that conversation. So it seems to me that you have, I'm assuming, just enough to get by. Is that a clear assumption? Just type yes or no into the comment field. If it's about that, what you would have to really start to think about is, what could you sacrifice or eliminate for a short period of time right now? Simone says yes. What can you eliminate right now that you could sacrifice that will help you invest in yourself to get you to the next level? Because, Tamisha and I have talked about it. We cut off the cable. We got rid of some of the, the luxuries that we had, because we knew that was the only way that we were going to create an opportunity for us to invest in ourselves. Was it hard at times? Yes, but once you start getting into the flow and start realizing of who you start to become, you'll start to see that I don't need these things. These things are more of a distraction than anything.
So, and I'll just add to that. I'm reading your comments. LaDawn says, yes, I always have to wait a few weeks in order to have the funds. I recognize that this isn't the way I want to live my life. It's the fire that pushes me to have a business to bring in more money. And Simone says, that's the mindset that I'm putting on. What can I give up? So the thing is, and I want to add this, and I appreciate you guys sharing and being honest and being transparent with us. I love that. So kudos to you for saying that, because what you're feeling and what you're dealing with is how everybody else feels, and what they're dealing with, they just are not saying it. So thank you for sharing that in the group. Here's what I can share with you. It's one thing to not be able to, it's one thing to not invest in yourself or not invest in your business, excuse me. And it's one thing to physically not have the cash to actually invest. If you don't have the cash, you don't have the cash. However, give me 1 second. I got to get the youngin' his life together with this phone so he can give us at least another 5 minutes of not bothering us. Okay, have a seat somewhere. Go live your life somewhere, please. All right, back to you guys. So here's the thing. We find money to do whatever it is that we need to do. And once you start to put yourself first, and once you start to feel like investing in yourself is not necessarily what you, even though we say what can you sacrifice or what can you give up, every time somebody thinks about investing in themselves, paying for a program, buying something as it relates to themselves, and as women, I'm just speaking, sorry, but as women, we have a hard time with this because we're constantly giving of ourselves, and when it's time for us to do something for ourselves, we don't know how, it doesn't feel good to us. We feel selfish, like, oh, I shouldn't be buying this for myself because I'm supposed to be giving to other people, because that's what we do 100% of the time. But you're gonna have to shift your priorities. Can you might not physically have the cash to do it, but you can absolutely create the cash to do it. You're a genius. You're an entrepreneur. You're creative. So you have a gift that you're putting in the world. You're working to monetize it. What can you create around that? How can you help someone else with your gifts to create that money that you need? Now, that might be a situation where you might have to sacrifice something to make the shift. So that sacrifice might mean, you know what, I can't have Starbucks this month for getting my coffee when I'm on my way to work. Maybe I have to get coffee from Racetrack or QT, which is the gas station here in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys are in Atlanta, but maybe you got to get the gas station coffee. That's $1 instead of the Starbucks coffee. That's $4.
Or maybe go to the supermarket and buy your own coffee and make it at home.
Maybe that means, you know what, I can't buy lunch for a month at work. I can't go to the cafeteria at my job and pay $10 for lunch. Maybe I need to bring my lunch every day. Maybe, you know what, I don't need to have 300 cable channels when all I really do is watch 3 to 5 of them. So maybe I need to get rid of the cable, or maybe I need to cut down the program that I have, the package that I have. Really look inside what you currently have. We always say, look inside what you currently have. There's tons of things that we have that we don't need. So that is some place that you can start, because that's easier than saying, okay, what could I create? But you can create. You can make that space to create whatever it is that you need to create. but you're going to have to change the mindset of thinking that that's an afterthought. That's not an afterthought, because if you're not able to sustain yourself, then you can't survive. You can't, if you have children or a family, they can't survive. So you've got to be able to pour into you and invest in you if you want to build yourself up to making more money to be able to do the things that you want to do.
And also, you know, I like to use the analogy of an apple tree. If you're an apple tree, right, in order for you to grow more apples, what has to happen? Each and every apple has to be plucked from that tree in order for that apple tree to create more apples. So what's happening is, you know, the apple tree in your case may be your bank account. So if your bank account, you have a few apples left in your bank account, and what's happening is you're holding on to dear life to those last 2 or 3 apples, you know. But what you're not realizing is you're subconsciously telling yourself that you're not able to.
You're not worth it.
You
can't create it.
And you can't create new apples. So again, you know, even, you know, some of you individuals who are, you know, straddling the fence between your plan A and your plan B, meaning, you know, you do have clients and things like that, you could start looking at the low-hanging fruits. So when I say low-hanging fruits, you may have a service right now that you can create and sell to a client to give you that extra financial income that you need to invest in yourself. If you look at some of the pretty much all of the most successful business people, they are not afraid to invest in themselves, and their bank account doesn't dictate who they are. See, we live in a society where we keep seeing people, you know, such and such net worth is $1 billion, and the stigma is based upon when you look at your bank account. Even some of the experts have said that, you know, if you're not making money, they base everything valued on your bank account. And there is some validity to that, but you also have to understand that in order to be, you have to be able to create. You know, what if I ask you this question? If you had the ability to have $1 million in the bank net worth right now, or you had the ability to create $10,000 to $20,000 anytime you want, which one would you want? You know, so, you know, we are not just showing you how and giving you the tools on how to leave your 9 to 5. We are giving you the coaching. We are giving you transformations and breakthroughs to help you to not worry about what's in your bank account. More so worry about how you can create whenever you want to create. And that will give you the confidence as well to leave your 9 to 5. So stop basing all of your you know, everything that you're about, you know, according to what your bank account is currently looking like.
And you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for whatever that is. The uncomfortable may mean, like I mentioned before, you sacrificing some of the things that you know, your regular routine to free up cash to do something else. Uncomfortable may mean, you know what, I'm going to have to apply for a business credit card so that I can go ahead and get this program or get this computer or whatever it is that you need to invest in yourself to get. Uncomfortable may mean, you know what, I might have to ask people that are closest to me, can I borrow some money? Because now it's like, listen, if you don't physically have the cash, you don't physically have the cash. Totally get that. Mm-hmm. But how can you make yourself uncomfortable and do something that you're not really wanting to do, but you know if you do it, you'll get the money that you need to get to make it happen? If you are committed to growing and seeing your business prosper, you're going to get the money. You're going to be able to pay back or pay off whatever it is that you need to pay back or pay off. You might have, you know, the racetrack or the Kroger Publix coffee, but you'll be able to buy as much Starbucks coffee or whatever you want later on once you now have the tools, you're equipped with the tools to make it happen. So again, that's a temporary, you know, temporary sacrifice for a greater reward. People are afraid to give up a little bit to get more. People are afraid to let go of a little bit, which stops them from getting more. So yes, you might feel like I don't have it. My bank account is low. Any money that I get, I got to make sure I'm taking care of this, that, and the third. See, I'm the wrong person to talk to because Damien and I take ridiculous risks all the time. And I'm a firm believer, if it's something that you really want and you know what the results is going to be, find a way to make it happen. Because I can tell you right now, we have done and sacrificed everything. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But we have sacrificed everything we have for what we believe in.
And we've cleaned out our bank account many a time.
I have cleaned out my bank account. I have begged. I've done everything but steal. I have begged. I have gotten credit cards. I have gotten loans. I have put my car up for title loans. I've done it all, honey. Anything that requires, except tooting. I don't toot. But I have done it all that is legal and legit so that I can try to get extra cash when I didn't have it for something that I believed in. And it paid off in the sense that even if I didn't get that immediate result, it up-leveled me to a higher place.
Right. And we totally understand that the financial conversation is a very difficult conversation for a lot of people. We are, creating an open door policy. Don't be ashamed to say that you don't have the money. But what we're telling you, or have the financial prowess to invest in yourself, you have to find a way to create that. It's not about the money. It's about us helping you get to the level of freedom that you desire so you could be your own boss and dictate how you want to live your life. Yeah. That's what this is all about.
And I will say, it's challenging and it's hard because I know what it feels like to not have any money. Trust and believe me. I know exactly what it feels like to not have any money, not know how you're going to feed your children tomorrow or today, not knowing how you're going to pay your rent, not knowing how you're going to pay your bills, worrying about your light getting cut off, worrying about your car getting repoed. I know how all of those things feel, but I also know what it feels to be prosperous. I also know what it feels to be able to do what I want when I want. I also know how it feels to have freedom to live the life that I want to live. And I like that feeling more. So I'm willing to be uncomfortable for a short period of time so that I can have more of those feel good things. There was a girl, I'm not going to put her on blast, but she knows who she is if she's listening, who, when we started the Be Unstoppable experience this year, the first week it came out, she had never heard of us before. Somehow she came across the event. She saw it. She knew it was a place that she needed to be. She did not have the money for the ticket, and the ticket was not that expensive. But her reality was she did not have the money. She was not somebody that lived here locally. She was out of state. So not only did she have to pay for her ticket to come to the event, but she also would have had to find a way to get here. So the natural thing for her to do would have been fly, because she was at least 1,000 miles away from where we were. She also needed a hotel. She needed a lot of things to make this trip happen. And she called and called and called. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, you don't have the money. Why are you still calling? And I can say this now because we've had this conversation with her, but she would call and speak to my team almost every other day for 3 months, just wanting to keep herself connected to what was going on. How many tickets y'all got left? I just want y'all to know I'm really serious. I'm trying. And it was like, okay, there's really nothing else to talk about. Get your ticket. And I will tell you, this girl was so persistent. I still don't know how she pulled it off, because I know that she really wanted to come, but like again, she did not have the money, and it didn't even seem believable at this point. It was like, is she just calling? Like, why is she going through these motions? But I promise you, the week before that event,
she signed up. She
bought her ticket. And not only did she buy the general admission ticket, she bought a VIP ticket. And she brought her friend with her. And she had a hotel. She had her plane ticket. And she invested and up-leveled herself in the program that we offered our students at the conference. So when I see people like her, who I know does not have the physical cash to get where she needs to get, she found a way. I don't know what she did, but she found a way. And when she got there, she said that was the best thing she could have ever did for herself. She knew that this is where she needed to be. She was so glad she invested. She probably had to rob Peter to pay Paul to get there, but that's the tenacity that I love to see. And so when I see stuff like that, I can't, nobody can tell me that they can't make it happen, because that's somebody that I know could not make it happen due to her circumstances, like physically could not make it happen, but she found a way because she was persistent.
And, being an entrepreneur is a journey. It's not a destination. You are going to have times where you are totally out of your comfort zone. You're totally uncomfortable with what's currently going on. But once you understand how to become irreplaceable, once you become Learn how to become unstoppable. Learn how to deal with the uncomfortableness of being uncomfortable. You will start to see possibilities that you have never seen. See, when you're in your 9 to 5, it creates a sense of security, but it really isn't security, because what happens is you're one day away from, God forbid, your boss coming in there and you being a part of those layoffs. Yeah. And then when that happens, now you're behind the 8 ball. So now that fear is definitely going to kick in worse than what it is. And this is why we keep saying you have to be able to sacrifice something or some things in your life to be able to invest in yourself while you have this angel investor in front of you. While you have this angel investor, take advantage of it. I'm telling you from my experience, I quit cold turkey. Okay? Didn't have any real money saved. And because I thought at that time, I'm a boss, I'm an entrepreneur, it has to work, it's going to work. I wasn't ready for these obstacles that came my way. So there were times, I learned a lot from it, and I would do it again. That's just me. I'm crazy. Like, an entrepreneur has to have a level of insanity to them, craziness to them, that no one else understands but them. This is why I told you a few days ago, you have to be able to stand alone in your greatness, because sometimes, and most of the time, people are going to think you're crazy. They're going to think you're insane, because they have self-limiting doubts that won't allow them to take that step or leap of faith that you have done. So I just want you to just understand that, dig deep. If freedom is what you really want, you will find a way to invest in yourself.
Yeah, LaDawn says, my team is new, all under 6 months at the job, and we had a layoff last week. It was my wake-up call. Yeah, it was. I just, a lot of you guys know that I work, before I left my job, I quit my job working for the Coca-Cola company. And a lot of people there were very comfortable working 25, 30 years, for the Coca-Cola company is a great company, but at the end of the day, when it's time to shift up, it's time to shift. And recently, I know, because a lot of my friends and my business associates that I used to work with, who was there for 25, 30 years, just got laid off. Mm-hmm. And these people who are there for 25, 30 years, that means that they're most likely in their 50s, 60s, and it's hard for them to readjust themselves and now get back into the workforce. Who they're competing with is a whole nother different, industry of millennials that they just can't keep up with. So now they have to reshift. They haven't interviewed or been looking for jobs for 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And now they got to try to figure this whole thing out again. And it's the scariest thing. But that's because they thought that they had job security there, but they didn't. So that was a wake-up call for me, because right around the time that I quit, a lot of people were getting laid off, and there's no real security there. When they're done with you, they're done with you. They've used you for whatever they needed to use you for. It's been real. Have a great day. They might give you a little severance. They probably won't, and they'll send you on your way.
And this is what you have to remember. You are becoming the CEO of your life when you quit you're the CEO of your life right now, but you currently, actually you're the president, and your 9 to 5 is the CEO of your life right now, because it's dictating how you move left and right, up and down, whatever you want to call it. But when you leave your 9 to 5, you become the CEO of your business, right? So you're the same decisions that these companies are making to lay people off, to hire people, to, whatever, to downsize, to merge with other companies, to sell the company. You're going to you're going to have to make these decisions as well with your business. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. We are dead serious about giving you the skills to confidently leave your 9 to 5 and live in abundance, whatever that looks like to you.
Yes. So, okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
I'm going through the chat once more just to make sure I didn't miss anybody's question in regards to day 4, or any other question.
And just to be honest, I'm a coach and I see certain behaviors. I noticed, throughout the challenge, we were getting, we had the usual suspects showing up, and we definitely love you, and we are grateful for that. But we noticed when we talked a little bit about the escape plan, the questions had stopped. So I just wanted to make sure that that's not the case, because there's something in front of you that you're afraid or not really comfortable talking about. This is a dialogue. It's not a monologue. So we want you to talk to us and let us know what's going on, because we want to make sure that this program is adding value. We want to make sure that this program is going to lead you to what's next for you, quitting your 9-to-5 and creating the business and the life that you want to live. So we want to make sure that we're delivering. We want to make sure that we're meeting you where you're at. So that's why we encourage you to give dialogue. We want to know if it's financial. We want to know if it's something logistically in the program that doesn't fit you. And, we want to know these things.
Simone says, I'm just thinking about how to come up with the money. I'm all in. Simone, I'm all in with you, honey. You'll do it. I know you will. I'm not even worried about it.
We're not giving up. We're going to show up.
It's going to be, you're going to empower yourself to make it happen for you. You'll be surprised what you will be able to do to empower yourself and up-level yourself. So I know we'll see you in the program.
And listen, we know it's scary. It can be scary. This is the reality. Are you going to be scared at times? Yes, you are. You're going to have some feelings of fear, doubt. Can I really do this? Am I built for this? That is natural. You know why? Because you've been indoctrinated and programmed to think a certain way. Through Tamisha and I, our obligation and responsibility is to help break that cycle and recondition your mind to know that you can do whatever it is you want to do. All right. So if you're having these feelings of doubt, how am I going to get the money, anxiety, you really see the value, dig deep. Find out where you can sacrifice. Find out if you have something in your toolkit or on your service or product catalog, how you can create investment money for yourself.
And one thing that I will say is this program is going to help you create more money. So in the case that you feel like, listen, let me tell you something. I have invested in coaching where I had paid like $4,000 and I did not have the $4,000. I was able to make that first payment. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I have done. I literally was like, okay, if I get into this program, I'm going to pay this money right now. I don't know how to make the second payment, but hopefully I will learn how to create some income for me to make the second payment. And I did, but I had to shift my mindset of thinking in a place of scarcity and thinking of a place of, not having enough to thinking in a place of abundance. Money, you have to keep telling yourself that. Even if it does not feel good, you have to keep telling yourself, money is easy. I can make money every day. That's one of my affirmations that I say every day, because I have to believe that. I have to feel that inside for it to come to me. And it's funny that when I think like that, when I think of abundance, when I create money, then more money comes. When I'm always worried and concerned about, I don't have enough. I don't know, I'm going to pay my bills. It just feels like, don't you feel like when you start, like when you have a bad day and it just seems like everything for the rest of the day is just terrible? Have you guys ever experienced that? You've got to change your mindset. Every time something great happens, you have to acknowledge the wins. Remember, we talked about that. Acknowledge the wins. Operate from a place of abundance. Be grateful for what you currently have, and more greatness will come to you. More abundance will come to you. That's how I have to operate in my life, because it doesn't necessarily feel that way. But as Damien said, you will, whatever your brain doesn't know the truth from a fallacy, right? So you have to keep telling your brain what you want your truths to be, and then it will align things to confirm that.
And also, if you're feeling a place of loneliness and quitting your job, I don't know if you're having these conversations with individuals. I'm quite sure you are, and you're getting a lot of the self-limiting conversation coming from them. Pretty much is, what if it doesn't work? We don't want you to invest in this program in desperation, like right. This has to work. You don't want to invest in yourself with that attitude for any program or anything you invest in. You want to invest into something knowing that if you put in the work, you are going to get where you need to be. Understand that you're going to have times where you're going to be stuck. You're going to be afraid. You have to learn how to develop the mindset to get around that, or be able to manage that fearfulness or whatever it is when it comes your way.
So LaDawn says, that's where I'm stuck. I've made some money in my business, but not what I want. The majority of my money comes from my paycheck. I'm thankful but frustrated and trying to switch my focus on how I can earn money.
Let me answer. Let me test that, LaDawn. So I can almost guess why your business has plateaued. See, what happens is when you start making money, and Tamisha and I are very guilty of this in our past, when you start making money, you start feeling yourself a little bit, and you forget how you got that money in the first place. So what probably happened, and I'm thinking, you could correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong, but what I'm thinking, yes I am. What's showing up for me is you have created this money, or you haven't even created steps or reflected back on how you made the money in the first place to know even how to recreate it. So these are the things, like, you have to do a lot of analytics. You have to create, what is that? Like processes. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out how you got there in the first place. And don't forget, and you also got to, like Simone says, yes, you have to level up. But you have to remember and be cognizant of how you made that money in the first place. And you got to duplicate that.
Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
You got to duplicate that. You can't just say, oh, because I made 6 figures or I made $10,000 or whatever that money amount looked like, that I made it and now people are going to fall in my lap. That's not how business works. And as you can see, you in this world with technology, you got to keep reinventing yourself. You got to stay on top of the social media outlets. Where are your clients hanging out?
She said, you're right. I build processes for companies, but I don't have it for myself.
We always do that. We could give the best advice and don't use it for ourselves.
I can go back and look at how I made it and do it again.
Boom. I promise you, when you do that, listen to me, LaDawn. I promise you, when you if you do that tonight, when you get off of this live, call with us, I promise you that low-hanging fruit is going to drop right into your hands, and you're going to be able to invest in anything that it is you want, And yeah, exactly. LaDawn says, I take my foot off the gas, and it takes so much time to get back on track. OMG. I was going to say something worse, but my kids are in the room. Listen to me when I tell you, I am so guilty of taking my foot off the gas and feeling myself when that money's coming in, and I'm just spending. When I'm investing into external things.
What does that sound like?
I'm investing in external things that I believe is going to make me feel good. But you have to keep investing in yourself to level up your business. We got to stop taking our foot off the gas. And that's the reason why you're staying in your 9 to 5, depending on that paycheck, because that paycheck allows you to keep you don't even have to put your foot on the gas. All you got to do is it's kind of like being in your car and you're on a hill and you got your car in neutral. That's what a job is.
Subconsciously, I'm comfortable with my paycheck and ramp up when emergencies happen.
Listen.
That's how most of us operate, LaDawn. So I applaud you for saying that.
You just had a breakthrough. Yeah. You just had a breakthrough. Yeah. That you're now that you're self-aware of that, you have to ask yourself now, who do you need to be in a place to not be comfortable with your paycheck?
Out. Sorry, parent control jumped in. Wow. Truth bombs left and right. Thank you so much. I'm going to find the money for that program. I know you will, honey. I know you will. I'm not even worried about it. And I'm glad that you came to that resolution, that revelation. Look, I'm hungry, y'all. I can't get my life today. I'm glad you came to that revelation, because that's how most of us operate. We go into, we up-level ourselves only in panic mode, only in emergency time, only when we absolutely need it. And now we're operating out of a place for desperation. So, of course, you're not going to get abundance when you're operating out of a place of desperation. That's not how we need to be living our lives. Instead, we need to be doing the reverse, but we never do, because you have that cushion there.
And how karma works is pretty much like this. When you are operating at a level of desperation, you're going to attract desperate people. So, like what LaDawn said, like it's so groundbreaking for you when you realize what is holding you back. So I just wanted to acknowledge you on that breakthrough, because we all have a level of ability that we can create out of nothing. See, when you're in a 9 to 5 and you're around that type of culture all your life, you become indoctrinated to believe that the only way that you can create money is through your paycheck, that with you working at your job. And that's the stigma that we are committed to breaking. This is why we want you to leave your 9 to 5 and be confident and be able to create those low-hanging fruits, and even some of those high-hanging fruits for some of your elite clients that are willing to spend big money for whatever it is that you have to offer to them.
LaDawn says, I've been in other programs but never had a conversation this transparent. This has been a block since I was laid off in 2014 and felt like I was doing my business wrong. This was major. Awesome.
And we glad, and I just felt the need, because money is a really tough conversation to have, and it's really difficult, and sometimes it could be embarrassing to be like, well, I don't have the money. We've been there. We know how that feels. We just want to just make sure that we're opening the doors up to you to become free, and and to be able to live the life that you want to live. Like we don't need to have these. I'm so happy that we had this conversation, because it had to be had. Like we could have called you guys one-on-one, and some individuals, they'll question you, hey, from a scale of 1 to 10. How bad do you want it? Obviously, most people are going to say a 10, and then you have people questioning you about you being a 10 and your actions. Your actions and your words have to meet. See, the problem is what people do in life, they do a lot of lip service. It becomes, you ever heard that saying, talk is cheap? No, talk is not cheap. People cheapen talk. And they cheapen their talk by not taking the action. If you are really sick and tired of being at a job that you don't want to be in, it's time for you to make that change. It's necessary in order for you to be successful in life to fail. It's necessary for you to be uncomfortable. All of the things that society places taboo on, those things are necessary. Why do you think 90%, 100% of the world's wealth is only owned by 2% of the world's population, or 1%? That's because they have realized that failure is part of the journey. See, what happens is when we fail, it becomes a destination and we stop. And remember what LaDawn was saying, you got to recreate this momentum. And trust
it takes
me.
a lot out of you. Just start it all back up again. It's like, I ain't got time.
And when you're in a 9 to 5 and you got to recreate momentum, first of all, you're only giving about 5% into your plan A to begin with, because your job and you just regular things in your life is happening. So you're only putting maybe 1 to 5% into your vision baby, as I call it, and you're only getting 5% of output. You only get back what you put out. What you put into something is what you get out of it. So
that's amazing, LaDawn. I'm so glad that you shared with us and you got your breakthrough. Woohoo! Yes! That's what it's. Nah, this one in the background. Woohoo! That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. That's why we show up every day. Please don't put that boy on camera with his nose looking the way it is. Thank you so much. Go get some tissue and clean your nose. So, guys, I'm really excited. I know that you guys that are interested in the program are going to find a way to make it happen. I have faith in you.
And you still have.
More importantly, I want you to have faith in yourself so that you can make it happen, because I know you can make it happen, but we need you to know you can make it happen.
And you still have day 5 of your challenge to complete. See, I'm going to be that thorn in your side because you still didn't ask questions for this challenge.
That's okay.
So it's
we're gonna
okay.
let y'all pass on that because we were able. The fact that LaDawn was able to get a breakthrough, and I know that just from us having this conversation, other people are getting breakthroughs just by being present. So y'all didn't have, and if you didn't have any questions on day 4, maybe it was clear.
And that's why we felt that it was necessary to have this conversation, because, like I said, what was showing up for us was when we introduced the program, which obviously requires an investment in yourself. Things got a little quiet. It was crickets in the wall. So I just wanted to make sure and be that we were on the same page, that's what created that shift in the conversation and became a monologue which was, you know, alarming for us. That's why we decided to have this conversation.
Awesome. So you have day 5 coming tomorrow, the last day of the challenge. Day 5 is all about you. I'm excited about that.
You can put the
so
link back
make
up.
sure I'll put the link. Yo, come on, man. You're just gonna sneeze all over people? Okay, so I'm gonna put the link to the program back up once more. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. And
yes, with questions.
With questions.
And
make sure you guys are watching day 4. Maybe you guys didn't catch day 4. I know it's the weekend. I don't know. But I want you to make sure you catch it because there's 4 parts to day 4 that we really need you to work out because some of you, I'm trying to talk over this. So some of you that are stuck in your business, LaDawn, you said there was a place where you're stuck. You created money, but you don't know how to continue to create that money in your business. Day 4 is going to help you do that. So make sure you go back and do the work.
Yes.
We'll see you.
And I just want, and you know, thank you, LaDawn. LaDawn says, thank you guys. Simone says, blessing to you guys. See you tomorrow. Yes, we hope, we are so glad that you're continuing to show up. But guess what? I wanted to make another quick announcement before we leave. There are 451 people in this group, and there's only a select number of people that are showing up. What's the problem here? Now, you know, this community is a dialogue situation, not a monologue. So, you know, if I'm just going to stop it there. But there's 451 people, and everyone isn't showing up. And we know sometimes the schedule may not allow that. But we need you to get engaged and have a dialogue with us so we know what's going on in your life so we can meet you. Again, for all of the individuals that are showing up, we thank you. We're grateful for you. We love you. We plan on helping you and intentionally help you with create freedom for yourself and your families and create generational wealth or whatever it is. And, you know, that's all I got to say for today. Happy
See
Sunday.
you guys tomorrow. Bye.